Us for more on the state of the industry is former Whole Foods co-CEO Walter Robb, now principal at Stonewall. Robb, great to have you again here, Walter. If you're a management company trying to operate a retailer, back to school, completely murky, the holiday season, no visibility, not to mention investors trying to figure out what to do with these companies. How do you figure it all out?
Yeah, well, good to see you both. And we've lost our retail rhythm. That's the thing. As you say, a retail year is built around going back to school. We all have known that for so many years. And now it's unclear, are we going back to school? We're not going back to school. In some places, we organize our shopping that way. We organize our meals that way. And so I just think we got to recognize the fact that we're out of rhythm, trying to find our way to a new rhythm, which we've not yet done. And there's just a lot involved in all of that.
Walter, I wanted to shift focus and ask about the food inflation that we saw earlier this week. What level of inflation is good for retailers? A small amount is a positive, is it? Or we've gone past that when it relates to certain issues like certain items, like meat and eggs, for example, which jumped quite significantly?
Yeah, well, a certain amount of inflation is a good idea because it helps the top line and it keeps things moving forward with managing your P&L. But what we have now, we got sort of 5%. I think it was 5.6 on the CPI. Well, if you look behind that, though, the PPI is kind of topped out. So I think, as I said before, I think the second half of the year is going to be much more competitive with lots more promos and temporary price reductions as people compete for share. But I think the inflation here was driven by the surge earlier on where the supply chain got choked off and it really had to recover. I think it has rebalanced with the exception of some areas like toilet paper, butter, flour. Some of these key items like this are still, they really haven't caught up on inventory, and that's where you could still see some elevated pricing.
Wanted to ask you also about bankruptcies, which is the other hot topic in retail. Every day brings a new bankruptcy. I think the latest is the paper store. You had the New York & Company, department stores. I mean, there's too many to even name here, Walter. Will there be any surprises, or is it just going to continue to hit the weaker links that everyone expected to go bankrupt?
Well, I think the fact is this COVID has accelerated everything that was already taking place in the marketplace. And so I think you will see some more. I saw some numbers from the Yelp folks that suggested sort of, 150,000 businesses. Some people say between 30 and 50% of small business is going to go out. We're going to continue to see disruption as the COVID turns left, turns right, is throwing curveballs at business. It's very difficult to operate in this environment. And so I think the main thing is, can we keep the economy open in some safe manner? It isn't whether it's an essential business or a non-essential business. It's whether we can keep it open in a safe manner for both the team members and for the customers. It's going to really determine some of that. Some folks have already thrown in the towel, and some folks are going to bankruptcy, as you point out. But there's a lot of folks out there working hard in retail to serve people. And I think it'll depend on whether we're able to get some sort of support, both in terms of maybe the Main Street Lending Facility amendment or in terms of keeping the economy open to let them continue to serve their customers.